I'm Susie.
I'm Charlotte.
And we are
the
Lightworkers Cafe.
Tried to harmonise there, didn't we?
Yeah, we like to go against the grain. We don't want to fit in.
We were using a frequency that this planet's not yet ready for.
They might not have even heard it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a dog whistle, isn't it?
Only dogs can hear you now.
We're going to talk today about negativity.
Negy vibes. If only you could see the face she was pulling, it's tremendous.
We need to start actually videoing ourselves because our facial expressions are something to be
pretty
admired.
epic.
Yeah.
Pretty epic. I mean, when I was getting sucked up diagonally by the aliens, my face was a picture.
It was. Well, the best thing about your face whilst you were being beamed diagonally was that it was just completely blank. you looked absolutely nonplussed about that.
Here we go again.
1 sec.
Yeah. I'll see you Tuesday.
Yeah. You're going to come in at the same... Coming in at the same angle.
Spat back out at a diagonal angle.
She's going to come from the left. And I'll be like, I wasn't expecting
left
that.
field, see, that's about right. Hashtag left field.
Nice. Yeah. Hashtag wandered off course there. So negativity.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we decided to use negativity because that is obviously quite an umbrella for quite a lot of things that we would consider neggy.
Yeah.
Neggy vibes.
Neggy vibes.
And probably the most relevant things to focus on are emotions.
Yes, of course.
Because they're the things that give us this sense of being negative.
Create the state that, the reality that we're in comes from the emotional state, doesn't it? The emotion to the mind, to the body.
Mm-hmm. And negativity itself is actually quite a scientific and objective term. It's negative and positive, or posy and neggy, as we like to call it.
Extreme ends of the scale.
They're just different, expressions
frequencies
of different frequencies, different expressions of energy.
Yeah,
like light and dark. There's actually, if you step back, there's an objective reality around it.
Paralysis by the sound of it. Paralysis of the jaw.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't even say it now. Polarity. That's it.
Hey! Raised your frequency right there.
Oh dear. That wasn't easy for me to say, was it?
But we don't like negativity.
No.
We don't like the negative, obviously, because it feels shit.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
And being around people that are negative are like, somebody used a great term when I was at retreat last week, and I love it. Mood hoover.
Ooh,
exactly. That's what I say. I love that. And I just thought, God, we know some people that can be mood hoovers. And you avoid them because of their neggy vibes.
Yeah.
It's like, you just think, I just can't.
Yeah.
There's some people I have to feel strong in myself to sometimes be around people. Not so much now. It's, I can't say it's people I work with because they listen to this podcast. And it's
but it
not.
is. It's not. You're all
not the ones that listen anyway.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to go. You just think, oh right, okay, I need to go and do this now, and it's like you build yourself up to it because you need your force field around you.
Well, that's very true. I mean, I use a lot of energetic protection, as I'm sure you do, particularly working in the field that we do. But when you're very empathic, which many of us are, and probably everyone who's listening to this podcast, I would imagine, is pretty empathic, if not very, you are constantly picking up the energy of your environment and other people, even just in conversation. And you can... the mood hoover thing is a reality. If you're not protected, if you haven't strengthened your energy field, then within seconds you can go...
And you feel it. You can feel it as well. And it's just, hey, give me back my energy.
Where's my life force, man?
And the thing is as well, what's really disappointing is they suck your energy, but they're still fucking negative.
I know. It's like, at least use it well. You're going to nick it.
You've taken it, now bloody use it. Yeah, exactly.
But that's an interesting thing, isn't it? That how the negative, it's very magnetic, the negative force. And it just gobbles up that positive or lighter frequency. It just kind of eats it and then turns it into more negativity. But equally, we can do that with positivity.
Yes.
We can transmute negative energy.
But then I think that becomes more of that's something you have to hone. It's like a skill.
Oh, very much.
Do you know what I mean? It's like the negativity comes quite easy, I think, when you're asleep.
Yeah.
And you're not conscious because it's that low vibe state, isn't it? And it feels safe.
Yeah.
I feel safe here being all miserable.
Miserable's familiar.
Yes, absolutely.
And also, it's a non-evolving state.
Yeah.
It's a cyclical state. So
comfort zone.
Yeah. So even though it feels shit, you know, it's easier in many ways than actually going through the sort of death and transformation process of becoming lighter.
Yeah.
And huge compassion to people who are in a particularly negative state.
Just don't come near me.
Yeah, just stay where you are. Compassion from afar.
I've got compassion and I've got love for you, but just stay over there.
Yeah.
I'm joking, but
yeah.
But
But it is, you know, again, most of us on this journey have been very neggy in our time. I know I have.
Let it go. Yeah.
And that thing of feeling like I'm never going to get out of this bog.
Oh, yeah. I've been there.
You know, misery and ineptitude.
Neggy bog.
Yeah, Negy bog. Bogy Neg. No, what?
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. Sounds like somewhere that you'd holiday in Victorian era. Bogy Neg. Skeg Negy. Can't remember.
I think it's the umbrella term of negativity. And like you say, that the thing with it as well is if you aren't in a position where if you're not in your heart space, then the negativity is about, I think it takes hold of the mind.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, and I'm not talking about depression here. That's a very different subject. I'm talking about just the general negativity of life is normally when you get stuck in your head. Yeah. You know, because when you're coming from your heart space, it's very difficult to stay in a negative space.
Well, yes, because the heart... Oh, I made a sound I've never made before. I've made that sound before. I don't know where the other one came from. The twang has got a life of its own today.
on the loose.
The heart is a natural transmutation tool.
I like that word.
Yes. But it is, love transmutes negative energy because negative energies, fear, cannot exist in the same space. So we've got this amazing device, smack bang in the higher region of our body, that is just there to be able to transmute. But we've all turned it off. We've switched the lights off.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course,
and you can't find the switch in the dark.
No. Wandering around your chakras going, babe.
It was here somewhere.
Put your torch on.
Shine your third eye, will you?
One day, I'd love to be able to just press between my eyebrows and beam a third eye out. But for those of you who know the chakra system, know that we have these kind of energy vortices.
You and your words.
I know.
Magnificent.
Thanks. In different parts of the body, and they swirl and they pick up debris. They pick up negative forces that then swirl within that vortex of the chakra, and that creates a negative magnetic field, so it pulls in more negativity. So by using the heart energy, we can actually clean ourselves out, as well as using various other energetic release modalities like breath work, for example, or Cambo or whatever it might be. I'm only using those because that's what we do, but
well, you can, I do crystal clearing, I do chakras,
soul
with a pendulum.
I mean, there's so many, it's endless. Sound healing. When these negative energies are in the chakra system, then it pulls our frequency down. So we start to experience more of the negative emotions, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because we need to experience them to understand and
to go through them to come out the other side. It's like, fear and anger and grief and frustration and all that sort of stuff. They're all valid if they're associated with a healing. Yes. They're valid if you're having to feel them to release them. Yeah. They're not so valid if you're just feeling sorry for yourself and you just want to be, well, I'm just going to be grumpy today, or I'm just going to be, and there's no pathway to what it is you're feeling. Yeah. You're just absorbing it and making everybody else absorb it.
Yeah. Making everyone mizzy.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, eons of suppression has created what happens to the negative forces is they actually kind of fire like little darts and arrows out of our energy field and into other people, and we all do this. But when you actually address those parts, they can move very quickly and very swiftly. Yeah. And then you feel this wonderful sense of enlightenment.
Yeah, because you're not resisting it. Yeah. You're allowing yourself to feel. It's quite interesting now because a neggy emotion will surface, and I don't react. I just sit with it. You know, why is this? What is this? Where has this come? What's triggered this? And you go through your little kind of internal encyclopedia, and you sit there with it, and I'm going, do you know what? I'm just going to let this be here for a bit. You don't resist it. You don't get cross that you feel like that. You don't take it out on someone else. You don't project. And it, like exactly that, it just moves through you pretty quick.
And I think that's a great point, because a huge part of our evolutionary process where we're at right now is unblocking. It's not being without these emotions. You know, they've been suppressed for centuries. So they're not just we can't just pick them out like a, you know, bag of rubbish and chuck them away somewhere else. It's like, no, they've got to move, and we've got to experience them moving. But that thing about not getting angry or more negative at yourself for having a negative emotion, it's very difficult for a lot of people, and it does take work to get to that point of acceptance of going, okay, I just feel like this. But when you are able to accept it, you stop blaming other people for how you feel, and you stop going, oh,
you own your shit.
Yeah,
own it.
Susie, you know, did this, so therefore my feeling. Well, she does do a lot of things. I've got so many Negy emotions towards Susie, but I just fire them out like darts by suppressing them. She hates being in my company.
It's quite painful.
I'm a total mood hoover.
My little paper cuts. It's like, oh God!
I sometimes send little cartoon sharks out.
I'm actually sitting here in a suit of armour.
But yeah, that acceptance of what we would call negative feelings or negativity, shadow, you know, how many words have we got for it? Endless. But
what can you learn from it? You know, we are our own greatest teacher. It's that simple. And that, you know, when these things arise, they're there for us to understand, and they're there for us to work out what's triggered it, what's brought it up, while it's there. And, you know, the minute you do that, you're integrating.
Yeah.
And so it loses its power, and you've transcended. You know, sometimes you might transcend huge amounts, other times it might be just tiny little centimetre.
Yes.
But everything is evolution. Everything is evolutionary if you're not attaching to it.
Absolutely. And not trying not to experience it as well, which is a big thing. And
you have to feel it, and that's the hardest part.
Yeah. It is, because it's grim. You know, there's no two ways about it. It is grim going into those spaces, and I have gone into some massively grim spaces, as I know you have as well, Susie. And you think it's going to get easier as you evolve.
Sometimes you think it's never going to end.
Yeah, and it actually, it doesn't necessarily. However, you do get better at mastering it. Yeah. And you do trust more and go, well, I can go into a little bit, you know, something that feels a little bit more disgusting right now, because I do know it's going to pass. Yeah. And I know it's going to pass a hell of a lot more quickly. Yeah. If I just go face first into this shit pile.
Face first. Diagonally.
Yeah. Diagonally down. Babe, I'm going into and it's you know, it's not just emotional, it's physical.
Yeah, it can be really physical.
You can just feel so icky at times.
Well, look, my favourite term, which is the one for me, sums it all up when I was going through some really literally sticky stuff, and it's like swimming through treacle. Yeah. It's the only way I can describe it, and it's hard and it's painful, and you just think, oh, when is this going to end? And it's confusing, and it's, you know, all these things. Then every now and again you have a little burst of light, and you're like, what I found is when you get through that stage, you do get to a point in your healing, and it's a beautiful place to be, where you stop going down the rabbit hole. Yeah. You will still feel these emotions, and these things will come up, but they're so small in comparison to what you've already gone through, because you've cleared most of the crap out. Yeah. You know, they're not going to completely disappear forever, but you stop going down the rabbit hole, and you feel whatever it is on the surface, and you release it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I had an interesting conversation with someone the other day who very beautifully, I was explaining that I was feeling some really disturbing emotions, and I was like, look, it's just the way it is today, but I'm feeling incredibly disturbed and uncomfortable and kind of a bit grimy, actually. Yeah. And of course, this friend immediately wanted to come to my aid and say, you know, try and bring me out of it. And I was like, no, I'm exactly where I need to be right now, because I know that tomorrow I'll probably feel different. Yeah. But if I try and use any kind of distraction technique,
suppression,
exactly, it's going back down and it's growing in there.
Yeah,
like a big fungus.
Yeah, it's going to come up and smack you in the face like a bat in about 2 weeks' time and really take you under.
Yeah, yeah. And I think an important thing for us to start doing is to stop talking about, you know, whether we stop referring to it as negativity even, but stop talking about our emotions such as anxiety or fear or anger or things like depression being, oh, you know, this irresolvable space that we're in. And I love saying the underworld. I'm in the underworld today. It's almost a bit celebratory.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm in the dark today. You know, foraging around for whatever gold might be in here.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
That's a really good way of putting it,
But-
foraging for the gold. Because there is gold there.
That's where it is,
Yeah.
you know, and shining lights on those little bits that have otherwise been dominating the mind.
Exactly. I used that exact term actually. I was talking to somebody recently, and I said, you know, you got to deep dive into the darkness because you got to find your treasure.
Yeah.
You know, and the treasure is there. It's like, you know, it's that resistance of going into the darkness or into the underworld. But you know what? When you can find some good shit in there.
Oh yeah.
And then you might not recognise it immediately. Sometimes it can be when you're reflecting and you're integrating that you go, oh mate, that was what that was for. And the little light goes on and you go, yes, I realise now why that had to happen.
Yeah. And you can reach states that you never thought you'd be capable of reaching.
Yeah.
Like states of release, states of forgiveness. And when we say, you know, like go into your darkness, going into the underworld, we don't mean externally, like go out with, you know, start attacking people. It's like, don't create the underworld.
Yeah, please don't try that at home.
No, don't do anything like that, please. But it's more going internally into your own...
In and down.
Exactly.
In and down.
And
diagonally.
Or, yeah, I mean, you could make it a zigzag if you need to. It'll take longer.
You
but
could jazz it up a bit if you're fed up with the same old route. You know what?
Oh my god, I'd just love to have some kind of like lift that takes me down.
And Charlie and
You are in the underworld.
Yeah. I love it.
Welcome to hell.
It's like Charlie in the Great Glass Elevator. If you go in any direction, you know, you know when you're going into it. I mean, it's inevitable that it happens throughout your lifetime, but I think the spaces in between get bigger and better and brighter and lighter, and the understanding of why you're going to these spaces becomes clearer, and they don't become, like you said yourself, you know, no, I'm just in the dark today. And it's the acceptance.
Yeah.
You know, there's no resistance.
Yes.
There's absolutely no resistance to this space that is being created at this moment, because you're present. You're present in the moment. You're present in whatever is having to take place.
Yeah, and actually even with things like depression, for example, I've heard someone say that depression is an initiation. It's a period of time where you're learning that something about your energy and your body and the way that you're living spiritually isn't working, and so you are almost pulled down into some sort of awakening, or have the opportunity to awaken through that experience.
Yeah.
Again, taking the stigma out of negative experiences is so important for us to start really healing. Or let's not call it healing, let's just call it evolving.
Yeah, exactly, because we do get stuck on this little track of labelling everything, and you know, we are, again, comes back to social conditioning of, well, this is this and that is that, put that in a box, put that goes there, this goes there, you know, and it's like, if we just take all that away, like, you know, just imagine when you pull the tablecloth off a table really quick and all the teacups and everything stay there.
Yeah, never managed it.
Yeah. No, I'm going to try it one day. But, you know, it's like, just take away the stuff that is not necessary. Yeah. All the other bits and pieces will still be there, but they don't have to be put in these boxes and these labels, and it's like, it's the acceptance of everything.
Yeah. One thing I think is really important for people to know, particularly anyone who is, you know, feeling in a kind of repetitive depressed state or anxious state, or in a state of negativity that just seems to keep cycling around, is that there is help and there are ways to come out of it. And I don't like to simplify things, but the truth is that if you really, really set the intention to move out of that state, the universe can bring you people, places, things to help you out. And that's one thing that the discovery of that for myself was enormous. And also my own capability of moving it was enormous, because, you know, after years and years and years of thinking, I can't get out of this, and there's no way I'm ever going to get out of this, and then a particular event making me realise I had to get out of it, otherwise I wasn't going to survive. The universe did start bringing me opportunities. It was up to me to say yes to them, and
this is the other thing. It's
you've
like recognising that you have to start receiving
and
what you're being given to move you from that place.
Yes, taking responsibility, not expecting it to do all the work for you, but when it comes to you, just saying, yes, I do actually really want to come out of this place.
I can put the effort in, and I can contribute to moving myself forward.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. It's really not easy. And, we're not saying that there's a wave a magic wand and the universe is going to go, ping, there you go, all better. It doesn't work like that. But, it's...
Well, you'd be robbed of an experience if it did. And also, no one benefits from someone else coming along and going, I'm going to take that away and take that away. No one's your healer.
Yeah.
No one is your healer.
Yeah, as we both agree with that,
Everyone is their own healer, but there are people in this world that are able to teach and facilitate.
And guide you and point you in the right direction. We're not here to fix each other. We're here to fix ourselves.
Exactly.
But, we all
fix,
need... No, it's just... Yeah, it's probably the wrong word, but in the loosest term.
Yes, yeah.
It's that, and we're capable of doing it ourselves. It's that acknowledgement of, we have the ability. Yeah. We just have to find the way.
And the will.
Yeah.
Will is so important.
Yes.
Will that sits in the, again, to use the chakra system, will sits in the solar plexus.
Yeah.
And a lot of us feel very de-energized, deflated, very sucked in around the solar plexus because our will has been damaged. And why wouldn't it be? Look at the world.
Yeah. Well, in breath work, in transformational breath, I work with acupressure and I do body mapping, and that's called the fear belt.
Yes, yeah.
Which is so accurate with regards to what it represents.
Yeah.
Is, the surrender point, the understanding, the strength and the will to be more posy.
Yeah, be more posy. Because it's a transformation point, also the ego point.
Exactly.
And we've got to let the ego die repeatedly in order to be able to transform.
Yeah. How many times does your ego die?
I mean, are we talking in this life?
Well, I mean, don't know. Just rack up the numbers. Let's have a go. In any life. Altogether. 956.
Is that your number?
I don't know. But I just said it.
957?
Maybe. My intuition just blurted that number out. So maybe that is all my lifetime ego deaths.
Maybe it is. Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely 957 over here.
Ego death.
Oh,
come on, Rain Stick. Come and get involved.
I'm going to come back to this thing about the stigma around negativity. I think, if we can collectively stop avoiding it or trying to pretend it doesn't exist or that we don't have it and that it's in everybody else, because you're only going to see it in other people if you're not dealing with it yourself.
Yeah. That's true, because as we know, everything is a reflection.
We'll do one on positivity.
Yeah. But not in this one. We'll keep it as a completely separate. Then we've got more material.
Yeah, we need to stretch this thing out, guys.
We've already planned that we're going to do you a fabulous Christmas episode.
It's going to be very exciting. We're even going to make it 10 minutes longer.
Yeah, won't you be the lucky one?
Yeah. It's going to be full of surprises.
And very posy.
Yeah. As posy as it gets. With a bit of, understanding that Christmas can be a bit neggy too. In fact, Christmas is really neggy.
Yeah.
Because we have so many expectations and we're all trying not to be neggies.
Consumer society.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Up the revolution.
We're going to rewrite Christmas.
Yes! Oh, anarchy in the UK.
Yes. I want to play with this, but I don't have the
I don't know where the stick's gone. We've lost the stick.
Put it up my bum.
Well, we find a multitude of things
trying
up there.
To clear some neggy vibes from my root chakra.
We have lost it.
Oh. Maybe we took it downstairs when we made some toast.
Can use that one.
Okay, well, you've done it now, so I'll just do that. So love to negativity.
Yes. Embrace it when it arrives. Just don't unpack and stay there. That's the trick.
And don't fire it at us.
Exactly. Keep your little.
Because we've got our protection shields on, and it'll come right back. We're made of mirrors. You see.
No mood hoovers.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Sending you many posy vibes.
Yeah. Love darts.
Love darts from the heart.
Yeah, baby.
And yeah.
See you on the next episode.
Yeah. We always say see you.
Oh yeah, we're not going to see anybody, are we?
No.
Hear you on the next episode. We don't
hear
them either. Oh God, I'm going to
sense you on the next episode. Feel you. No, that's wrong. That's
Bye.